match, really tough scenes for the Broncos out there with those 3 hamstring. Is confirmed hamstring for all 3 of them?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. What's sort of the, I suppose, start with Adam Reynolds. Did he hear anything? What was the extent of what conversations have you had with him?
Look, I just spoke to the 3 of them. We'd have to go and get our scans and go through the process of the severity of them. But yeah, they're all 3 hamstrings, which is quite strange because the boys are pretty measured about what they do with the players throughout the week. So there's no real sort of evidence of why that may happen, but we'll dig into it and have a look. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but I've got to say I'm really proud of the way the players performed. We came down here and they prepped really well, and it's always the game that you saw out there is that you're playing a long game, which I spoke about, I suppose, last week, and I felt that the players fought right to the death. I've never been a part of a game where you lose your 2 halfbacks. And then the chopping and changing of your players, and they were still in the game in some way towards the back end. So it says a lot about the character of the team.
That was also what you said at half-time, was just have belief in the fact that you could sort of rally behind and have sort of those changes. Is that what gives you, I suppose, hope moving forward over these next couple of rounds when you're likely to be without those 3?
Yeah, we'll be right. I mean, we've got people in the background that can come in, so that's part of the progression, and we've been able to bring a few people in and change around a little bit. So yeah, we'll work through that throughout the week.
Was Cobbo struggling with anything with his hammy in the first half, or was that completely separate? He felt it go well?
That was completely separate. He just got sort of bent backwards when Katani sort of fell back on him. So he was fine at half time. He was okay. It was just unfortunate that he sort of tried to evade someone and turn, and away it went.
Matt, what was it like in the coach's box? Like losing 2 halves in like the one play? Were you sort of like, I don't know, didn't know where to look?
It was crazy, to be honest. I mean, I've never experienced that. But to the players' credit, I felt they handled it really well. I mean, they were fighting in that game. Benny went to the halves and Billy came on, and then Katani went into the halves as well, and we had back rowers in the centres, and it just showed what I feel is the character of what the boys have been building for quite some time. The fight that's in them, and playing tough. They played tough because they had to. It's just unfortunate we couldn't quite get the plays on in that second half. We had a few errors and put a bit more pressure back on ourselves. So that did hurt. It's the way it is.
Did Selwyn show how much he wanted that position in the team with that chase down tackle on Xavier Coates?
Yeah, I thought that a lot of the players showed effort like that. I mean, there were times there where on our right edge we had Jack in the centres, and he was saving tries over there, and Pappenhausen obviously swung around there quite a few times, and to see Selwyn chase across and everyone get back and stop the try there, that was, once again, I keep going back to the character of what this team's been building. And we've gone through plenty together, and I was super proud of what they did tonight.
Ben, what was it like out there for you in terms of that? It was pretty chaotic when they sort of went down, working out who was going off, what was happening in the shuffle. Just recall what you were doing out there.
Yeah, the next couple of sets after that was pretty chaotic. Katoni and I ended up swapping sides a couple of times, but we got it worked out. And like Madge said, we fought hard, but we just didn't really give ourselves a chance. Our end of sets weren't great. We turned over a lot of ball. We got to half time. We still felt like we were in it if we could just get our act together a bit. But like Madge said, we made a couple of errors and just hurt ourselves.
You've been a part of massive games at pointy ends of the season and having to deal with injuries. How important is it these next couple of weeks to try and deal with 3 losses for the squad to have the belief that you have had and proven that you have there tonight?
It's extremely important the next few games. Like Madge said, we've got a few guys that have been working hard in the background that have played some NRL in the past and this year that can come in. So we'll get back to training on Monday and sort all that out and push forward to next week.
Given the unusual and difficult circumstances tonight, are you immediately writing this result off, or how much analysis are you going to be doing on this match compared with others?
We'll get a bit out of it. I mean, I think Benny alluded to there, like we had an opportunity there where we had a couple of errors in the back end of that second half, especially going down into the good ball area where you create an opportunity. So, they're things that we'll be able to take from, obviously, the game. But, if the boys keep turning up and prepping the way they have and performing like that, it's going to fall your way when the time's right.
What were your thoughts on the penalty try at the end?
I'd have to have a look at that. I thought that was an unusual call, that one. But I just want to focus on my team perform on the way they did. It's something there that the players have moved towards, and that won't change. But it was an unusual one, that one.
Reece Walsh had, I think, 2 forward passes this evening, not just quite off the mark, but does it feel like he's working at that training? You're seeing behind the scenes him trying to really nail those sort of executions?
Yeah, he practices those. You've got to be able to execute that. That's part of what we'll take away from the game, and timings and passing and things like that. So, yeah, if you execute those, it's a different game.
What's your likely options for the halves going forwards? Will you stick with what you went with tonight, or is that...
I'll talk to the players and we'll go through that. I haven't even thought about that, to be honest. I'm just sort of more concerned about the boys, and Ez is actually pretty positive. So we'll see where that takes itself throughout the week.
Yeah, did he say he felt he's a bit higher up his hamstring?
Sometimes it can be a bit nervy as well, so
Okay.
it can actually go down through into your hamstring. So every now and then you get a bit of luck.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.